database connectivity using servlets. So once we open the Netbeans projects, we'll see one example which has been created here. Let's take the example of this simple file, index.html file, in which there is one text field which is named as T1. We'll take the user input name from the users, and once the user clicks the submit button, this action will be handled by the servlet SS. So in the form tag we have specified the name of the servlet's SS, input field text, and name of the text field as T1. So once we go to the servlet sections, we know from projects, source, select new servlet package. Now we will see the content of the servlet here. The default packages which we need to import are import javax.servlet.star, import javax.servlet.http.star, import java.sql.star. This package is used for database connectivity. We have to import the SQL packages. We know the servlet is a class file which extends the HTTP servlet. Now we will see the basic connectivity steps of the database connectivity steps. So we'll start from here. Class.forName. This is the first statement. Class.forName, which we have to include in the database connectivity step. In this we specify the name of the driver. Now we are using the MySQL driver, so we are specifying it as com.mysql.jdbc driver. And if your database is Oracle, then you have to specify the name of the Oracle driver, that is oracle.thin.driver, like that. For different types of databases, different database vendors, there are different types of drivers. So the first step is the class.forName, which is specify the name of the database driver. Once we specify the name of the driver, we have to establish connection to the database which we have created. Suppose my database is test. Now I want to connect to the database test. So I will use the connection statement. So in the database connectivity steps, there are class.forName, connection statement, then the prepared statement or normal statement, and then the result steps. These are the 4 different steps we need to follow. So in the connection step, we create the object of the connection using driver manager.getConnections. And in the connection tag, we have to specify the URL jdbc:/mysql:/localhost, and this is the port number 3306, which is used to connect to MySQL database. And this is the name of the database test, and this is the username and password. So by default our username we have taken as root, that is the admin, and password we have, as we have specified in the MySQL database, it is blank. So whatever the password you have specified, you have to mention here. Once we are connected to the MySQL database, that is test, now we have to execute the statements insert, update or delete, whatever the DML statement we want to perform. For executing these DML statements, we have to create the object of prepared statement, or statement also you can create. So we have to create the object of the prepared statement. PS is equals to using connection object on.prepared statement. In this we specify the SQL queries, insert, update or delete. Now my table is student. Suppose if I want to insert some values into the student, insert into student values and question mark. Whenever you are using the prepared statement, you have to specify the question mark. If there are more values separated by comma, then put the question marks. Now my table consists of only one column, therefore I have used only single question mark. It is used to indicate the values will be supplied at the runtime. Now it consists of only one column. Whatever the parameter we have retrieved from the index.html file, we have saved in the string variable name. Request.get parameter T1, which is the index.html parameter T1, text field T1, we are storing it in the variable name. Now we are passing this name variable to the database test in the student table. So student table exists in the database test which exists in the MySQL. We are putting the values of the name which we have retrieved from the index.html file into the database table, that is the student. That is the first column, that is name. We are specifying the one with name. Now once we do this, we have to execute this prepared statement using the ps.execute update. Now we want to check whether it has been inserted successfully or not. So for we have taken in the integer variable n. If n is greater than 0, means if the rows are executed, then we are printing the message record inserted. So these are the 5 steps we have to specify for connectivity to the database: class.forName, connection, prepared statement. Once the record is being inserted, we can retrieve the values from the table using the result set. So result set is just like the cursor which fetches the values from the table. So we will execute this prepared statement ps.execute query. Now we were retrieving the values from the table, select star from table name. Therefore we are using execute query. Whenever we want to perform insert, update or delete, we have to use the execute update. So once we have retrieved the values from the student table, we are storing in the cursor result set rs. Now rs stores all the values which exist in the student table. We can use the result set while rs.next. We have to fetch the values from the result set. rs.getString, it is a string variable. We are retrieving the values from the result set rs and storing in the string variable fname, and using out.println, and we are printing the name of the values which are stored in the result set, that is the name. So for displaying the values, we have to use the result set object. So these are the basic connectivity steps. Now we will see how to create the database in the Netbeans itself. Go to the services. In the database, already we have selected the MySQL, or if any other database is there, you can go to database, click on new connections, you will get the options. Now already MySQL we have connected. If you want to go for new database, we have to select here create database. We can give any database name. Suppose my database name is online shopping. So we can see here online shopping database has been created for us. Once the online shopping database has been created for us, we can create the tables here itself only. See the online database tables. We can create the tables itself here only. Create table. Table name. Suppose if I want to give the table name as customer. Add the columns. We can add the columns customer ID. Data type we can take it as int. If you want to add more columns, you can select here customer name, data type as varchar, the size as 20. So in this way we can create the tables here itself only, and we can link the database directly using the connectivity steps. So our table customer is created. We can see the columns which are created here. So in the service section we can specify the database as well as the tables. We can create instantly the database as well as the tables here only. So we will run these applications. Web application 9. We have used the test database, and in the test database we have created the student table. So we will see whether the records are inserted into the student table or not. We have to insert the name. We have to click the submit button. So record inserted, whatever the records which are inserted using the result set, we have fetch. Name is Ajinkya, name is Atharva, name is Vinod, name is Sunshine. Just we have inserted this Sunshine name. So this is the one simple applications to demonstrate the JDBC connectivity using the servlets. We can go to the tables also. Here we can see here whether the records are inserted or not. Our database is test. Now this is the database test. You can see the view data option here. We can see the name which we have inserted, Ajinkya, Atharva. We can drop down here, and the last one which we have inserted is Sunshine. So thank you for all of you watching this.